Hey everyone, Dr. Eric here from Adio Chiropractic. So today we're going to talk about stress. Now, is stress really a bad thing or is it a good thing? And there's a point where stress is actually can be a good thing. It's what helps our body learn from situations. But then there's that point where too much stress becomes a problem and we start losing our ability as humans to adapt, and we lose that resiliency of our bodies to understand and perceive what's going on in around us. And that's when we start to get that anxiety, we start to get that depression or those sleeping struggles or those digestive challenges, because our body has lost that ability to adapt to our environment on that. And what are stresses? I'm back here. You can see we have this first one right here, and that is as trauma. That is our physical stresses. So that is from the bumps and bruises to the falls to the car accidents to the sitting in our chairs at our desk or at school, to being on technology and just sitting in that posture, to also the biggest thing, the moonwalking bear that I talk about a lot in our workshops, and that is the birth process and how that is a big connection point to the struggles that our kids are going to get later in life, but also the birth, the pregnancy. But then we get into the chemical stresses, which today's not talking about all the different stresses and what we can do to reduce those. That is a whole separate talk that we could do. But the toxins, to the chemicals that we're eating, the processed foods, to the chemicals in our environment that we're using for cleaning products, that we're putting on our skin, all of these different types of things, to emotional stresses, to the mental challenges, the emotional challenges that especially that our kids are going through now, because we're back in school. They have a new environment, they have a new situation, new kids, new teacher, and it's a ton of emotional stresses. Now, what happens is, when our body faces stresses, what happens is that starts revving this engine, and our foot, starts getting on to this gas pedal state here. Now, when stress becomes too much is when we start, building that stress, and we hit this threshold where now our body, our nervous system, that master controller, the boss of our whole body, of what controls everything that happens in our body, when that stress builds up, it hits a point, it hits a threshold where now our nervous system cannot adapt. It cannot perceive our environment the way that it was meant to. And when that happens, we get stuck. We get stuck here on this gas pedal. And what that means when it comes to our kids is that our kids aren't spending optimal time here on the brake pedal, that parasympathetic, that rest, relax, that digest aspect of the nervous system. That is where growth, development, healing occurs. And when our kids are not spending optimal time here and they're stuck here, we start to see these challenges start to occur. We start seeing the anxiety, we start seeing the digestive issues, we start seeing the hyperactivity, we start seeing all of these challenges that we're seeing in kids. And if we're not addressing that underlying stress, or how our nervous system is able to adapt, or that, if we're not addressing that resiliency of our body, these issues start to get deeper and deeper and deeper and become bigger and bigger issues down the road. And that's what we're seeing in these kids. What started as colic, or what started as reflux, is now getting into chronic ear infections, digestive issues, constipation, sleeping challenges, and then it gets into deeper. Now we get the more severe anxiety, and we get the depression, And this is going to follow us because we don't grow out of these situations. What's happening, and parents are seeing it all the time, is that our kids are growing into bigger challenges, bigger struggles onto that. So it all relates back to the master controller, that thing that we talk about so much in our office, and that is that nervous system. We need to address that nervous system, take that stress off of that nervous system so that we can start pumping the brakes, so that we can start getting that parasympathetic nervous system reactivated. And when we do that, what happens is that gas pedal starts to calm down on that, and our kids are able to calm. Our kids are able to regulate their emotions, and they're able to go out into social situations without that anxiety increasing, or they're able to have better connections with families, with friends. They're able to poop. They're able to sleep the way that they were meant to. Our kids just then start living the best quality life that they can, and they start thriving in today's world. And that's really what happens when we start addressing that underlying root issue of why our kids are struggling in the first place. So, like I mentioned, if you have a kiddo that is struggling with anxiety, sleeping issues, constipation, whatever the struggle, and you tried other things, and you may have seen some benefit, but your gut, your parent gut, your mom gut, your dad gut is telling you that there is more. There is. We need to look at that foundational component of how our bodies work, and that is that nervous system. So reach out to us, direct message us, or if you're someone that is just been watching our videos, please watch them more. We love being able to provide answers for you and action steps. So when the time is right for you, reach out to us. We are here for you. But please share this or tag someone if you know that somebody could benefit from this information. Otherwise, everyone have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.